Welcome to my podcast Flowing in the Deep by Georgia.artist. And today is finally the day and the perfect timing that I was guided to speak about one of my plant-based ceremonies I experienced a few years back. I promised my viewers that one day I would talk about it, and today is the day. Why? Because I finally came to the vibration stage when all is aligned with this very sacred path or mission that I have been shown. So let me start from the beginning and talk about this experience for every one of you that are seeking your purpose on this planet, that are seeking to know your inner truth, or to try to find answers to certain truth that your heart, your soul, your intuition has already been slowly revealing to you. Hopefully this experience I'm going to share with you may some way, shape or form inspire you. That's the main reason why I feel guided to share this experience, because humanity had been for a long time divided from nature, and this society system had been programming humanity, or perhaps more better word to express is humanity had been manipulated into believing certain truths that now have been exposed and revealed, coming to the light. And somewhere in the history of time, when the shadow would reflect more than the light, there was a almost disconnection from the medical or medicinal abilities of Mother Nature. And certain natural practices by tribes and native indigenous peoples of different places were practicing it, and it came to a Western society that had been unfortunately ruled by certain corporations perhaps, and certain organizations, institutions that silenced this beautiful sacred plant's medicine and guidance. They proclaim it illegal in some countries. They condemned the value of those healing ceremonies. Why? We would have to go much deeper into the matrix philosophy, and maybe another day. At this time, I want to focus on the actual journey that I've experienced for every one of you to create your own follow-up of that journey in your own life. What I'm just going to share may perhaps resonate with some, may inspire, or may somehow shift perceptions, negative beliefs, and perhaps bring humanity a little bit closer to Mother Nature again. That is my mission. So let's go back in that day when I felt guided to try ayahuasca. And my experience that I've received. I've experienced ayahuasca in beautiful countries, which I'm not gonna name because it's not relevant. What is relevant is the experience. And I believe that Mother Earth knows the best what is good for us. And nature is perfectly connected to the source, to the one, to the creation itself. So everything is perfectly aligned. So if that day may come for you, perhaps you'll be guided. It will surely be clear where and how and what. So that's why it's not relevant what was relevant for me in that day, in that particular time, but how it came to me is more what I wish to experience with you at this moment again. A few years back, I went through a lot of transitional periods of my life when I felt kind of lost in a negative beliefs loop. And I really felt that I would need some kind of clarity, perhaps even to feel guided to some kind of center or even healing. And as I always communicate with my spirit guides, with my higher self, with angels, archangels, I always lead my life through interconnectedness of all. And what I felt was very strong pull to plant ceremonies, to plants and Mother Earth, Mother Nature. That was my energetic path I felt I want to go on. And as soon as I realized that within me, the reflection came back to me. as within, so without. And in someone would say coincidental way, but for me it's serendipity. Serendipity brought me to certain person. Very easy. I went to some kind of shopping and I've met that person to random event. And that person was very important link for me and my idea of ayahuasca. So then I've chosen internally and consciously that if Mother Ayahuasca, because I humbly treat every plant, every tree, every part of nature and being of nature, or every animal, I treat them with utmost respect and humbleness. So I asked of Mother Ayahuasca, in spirit, I asked, if I am meant to do this plant ceremony, if Mother Ayahuasca is calling me, I wish that be aligned in physical reality for me, some way, shape or form, so that I could actually be able to attend. So, and suddenly, days later, I've met this person. That person told me about this particular place in particular country, and I was grateful. I took it as a sign, as a calling by Madam Ayahuasca. And when you follow your higher calling, your passion, things will start aligning in your path. And that's what happened. Eventually, there was no obstacle on that actual planning journey until the very moment everything went smooth. Even though it was a country I've never been, everything went smooth. And there I was, standing face to face with a beautiful experience with Mother Ayahuasca. They advised us before coming what to eat to create a perfect environment for this energetic and spiritual experience. So not to eat much of a heavy food, but eat more of a alive food like fresh fruit, vegetables, etc. for a week at least. And because I am vegetarian already, it wasn't hard for me. And eventually they guided us to certain preparations and affirmations about intentions, what kind of intentions we may have. So to set intention, my intention was, in the first experience, my intention was to know my purpose, to know my mission, or to center myself in my being, to heal my traumas of pain, whatever I'm meant to. My first night was very healing. I remember my beloved Sami, my doggy that you may know from this channel. that time he was still alive and well. And when I was leaving him, I told him I'll be back in a few days. But I didn't tell him concretely where I'm going. I told him I'll be back in a few days. And the first night, after drinking the ayahuasca, and then we went and stayed in our places to let it work within us. First, I've seen my beloved Sami coming in spirit, checking on me, kind of like out of body experience for him. Yeah, pets and animals can do it easily. Out of body experience for them is not special experience. For them, it's natural. So he OBE'd to where I was just to check on me. He had exactly same dress, same dress that I gave him before I left. So he went to check on me. We spoke telepathically. I told him, I am here, don't worry baby, I'll be back home. He looked at me, he let me know, all right, I just want to know where you at and why you're not home. So he felt very calm and he went off. I was very happy because I missed him already and I was worried about him, and it put me in peace. And then you shouldn't really have an insistence or expectations. Usually the best way to experience Mother Ayahuasca is to let that experience be guided by her, not by us and our expectations, especially if it's the first time, second time, and if it's new for us. So I did have a slight expectations. I was expecting some visions and some extremely amazing out-of-body experiences to some other worlds and basically different kind of things that were in my expectations. And the first night I was waiting for them, and eventually 1 hour passed, and after that 1 hour I didn't experience anything very particularly extraordinary apart from my baby Sami's visitation. But what I felt was this beautiful, whirling, cooling energy working within my body, as if clearing each chakra one by one, clearing all this heaviness and all this darkness. And I asked Mother Ayahuasca, what's happened with me at this stage? How come I'm still very conscious and just feeling this? And I've heard this clearly in telepathic language, which is the language of the all creation. I've heard my ayahuasca, the spirit of ayahuasca, telling me, you've been healed. And I felt it intensely. This beautiful whirl of energy flowing through my body in circulating movements, and it felt really healing. I felt it a relief. I felt very peaceful. I was in those times I was suffering a lot emotionally and psychologically. It was a very difficult period, and it healed me from within. She worked on me intensely. And then a couple of hours later, it was meant to be by choice. Whoever would like to have more intense cleansing and healing ceremony with actual shaman, one by one. So he sat us, few of us, one by one, at chair in front of him, and he started to working on us one by one with different rituals where he intuitively was guided by Mother Ayahuasca. Each of them had their unique ones. And he went next to me. There was a guy sitting, and he was working on him and running around doing these beautiful shamanic dancing and chanting chants and shaking with this beautiful leafy tool that I can't really remember what it's called, but that's what usually shamans of ayahuasca would have. It's leaves that basically cleaning this big leaves in such a kind of big connected instrument, and they will shake it around and cleansing all the negative energy and whatever traumas and pain and all, and talking and dancing and chanting very divine tunes. It felt so beautiful. And that person next to me just suddenly starts to take all this energy that he was holding within him, that heaviness, out of him. Then he moved towards me, and he started practicing this beautiful chanting and cleansing on me. Very sacred. And I've received very similar experience. I felt like a big heavy stone fell off of me, and that I, with all the might my soul has, almost spit out the biggest fear ball out of my chest. It was beautiful and sacred. After that, I just went to lay down, and I felt so pure in spirit. I felt such a deep connection to myself, my higher self, to all the source and all connection, all that is. And I was just being in that state till the rest of the night. It was beautiful and healing experience. The second time, and the next day, I've set another intention. I really felt that Mother Ayahuasca is telling me, today we're going to work on your purpose. Yesterday you needed to be cleared so that you could receive the message. You needed internal cleansing of all negative beliefs and fears. And today you are a clearer channel. You now can see more. So she was preparing me more, because it was my first time. She was preparing me more the first day to clean and clear that channel, my vessel, my temple, from physical heaviness and from emotional heaviness, which is the lower energy that is keeping us trapped in negative beliefs and keeping us disconnected. And my pure and direct intention was to know what my purpose is, what my mission is, that I had been doing in past lives, and I'm supposed to continue, because I've always felt that way, that I have some kind of mission, some kind of purpose. So, and I asked Mother Ayahuasca to show me few past lives or parallel realities that are very significant for my current lifetime, that would give me clarity that what I'm supposed to do. So I went, and I could hear Mother Ayahuasca telling me, take with me a note and a pen. So I did. And after drinking the ayahuasca, I lay down. For some reason, I was meant to have my feet up. So I put my feet up, and I try not to think by my mind, I try not to question or judge what I'm guided to do. If I'm guided to put my feet up, I try to be in that alignment with her guidance, without second guessing, without feeling ashamed that others may be looking at me. And that was happening. I could see even a shaman. He wasn't a tribe shaman. He was a shaman of that country, really. So he was just a student, but he was pretty good, actually. But I could feel their eyes on me in those times. But I didn't take it any deeper. And I tried to focus on the internal guidance by Mother Ayahuasca. If that was meant to be helping me, if I put my feet up, if that was meant to help me in some way, shape or form, I was for it. So I did, and as soon as I put my feet up, I started receiving more clear guidance, like visions, and I could clearly hear her through telepathic language. And she showed me through few past lives. But first, what she told me is, your purpose is and has always been, and that's the root connection. Your purpose and your mission is to unite divisions. I was so clear, to unite divisions. And then she showed me past lives, how I was going on about it. First, what she showed me, past life was somewhere in 16th century in Africa. There was a tribe, and the tribe had this clay disc on the bottom lip. I'm not too sure if that 16th century had been actually assigned to this particular part of his life, or if it wasn't clear to me if that 16th century year, when I asked her what year was it, if that meant, at that moment I understood it this way, it either meant that tribe was existing in 16th century somewhere in Africa, which I was part of, or it was the long gap since I was incarnated back here. I understood that the last time I incarnated here before this lifetime was in 16th century. So it wasn't clear to me. So I let it go. But I noted everything on that piece of paper, whatever I could, in kind of like automated writing because my eyes were closed. Because I was seeing the visions of my past lives. And I saw myself as an albino tribe, member of that tribe with the clay disc, but I was albino. And I could feel it emotionally, how excluded I was out of that community, just because I was albino. I could feel the discrimination, I could feel that judgments, and how everyone excluded me from their community and didn't want to have anything to do with me. And I've often sat alone and lonely, sad and beaten up by that, somewhere far away from the entire tribe. And what I was shown is that at this life, at that particular life, my purpose, and I felt that I did achieve that, was to unite divisions in a way of those tribes, including albinos, into their communities, not excluding them and condemning them and despising of them, but I was teaching them through unconditional love or through my existence, and I was showing and shifting their perspective, perceptions of difference. If somebody looks different than them, it was based off fear what I felt, and I somehow was meant to unite it. So that was there was one past life or parallel life, if we talk not in linear, because everything happened simultaneously. And it made me understand that at that time I was fighting a lot of demons about lack of confidence. It showed me where I needed to work on myself and how I should stand up for myself. And that was very much a root generational lineage wound in our family, even in current life. So my ayahuasca showed me the connection between these lifetimes and the core healing patterns. So the second lifetime she showed me was way back in times in Lemuria. I was shown to be high priestess. I had a beautiful tattoo coming from the top of my head up to my third eye, space in between eyes. It was golden and ocean blue, or blue, beautiful blue, azurite blue as well, but more like ocean blue with gold tattoo. And it would consist of stars and diamond shapes coming from top of my head down to the last star in between my eyes, where the third eye position is. That beautiful tattoo stuck on me very much. It represented High Priestess and the healers, us that were healing and that were creating and beautiful environment where we used nature, animals, and natural material, minerals, like crystals, and where we perfectly communicated with animals. I collaborated and communicated with animals. They were helping me on my healing journeys, and we held that divine wisdom within. I was shown that I was healing with energy, Reiki, even then, but at that time it wasn't called Reiki. And I used all the tools like crystals and nature and herbs and divine help of animals and their abilities, and we would communicate together in telepathic way and to unite division. What that means in that lifetime, I understood that it was that I could unite what is within divided in people. So I could heal their inner being that felt divided in some way, shape or forms, as well as any forms of divisions that will be creating distorted energy between people, the civilization. Then I was shown later on that when I was meditating and I went back to the Lemuria times, I was shown even my spirit name, my Lemuria name. And it was very beautiful, sacred experience to experience that lifetime. And I could feel it. I could feel that role. And I played it very devotedly. I've also felt the feeling of betrayal that started in Lemuria, that fear, that feeling haunted by the part of society that wanted to bring more shadow into. I spoke in one of the podcasts about beginnings of patriarchal waves, when male distorted beings perhaps didn't agree with that and started different troubles. I didn't see much of that, so I can't really talk much about it, but I could feel the energy of it. And that's where the fear started to be entering in the society and force of dominion. But I wasn't shown much in details. It was just short visions to make me understand that my continuation of purpose is to unite divisions. We went almost like back in time, like starting the current life and then going back in time. So first was shown 1600, then was shown the Lemuria. Now we are coming out of the planet Earth in another realm, in another perhaps universe or construct or another planet, which was Pleiadian. I was shown that I had been a Pleiadian being, and my role at that moment was, at that time, what I was shown was to travel to galaxies, different planets, different universes, and travel to these places, to these civilizations, different civilizations, and to look for divisions, discriminations, and all sorts distortions, and monitor and go back to elders in my civilization and report it for a good reason, so that the healer or the healers, the elders that have their abilities to balance it out could then continue with helping those civilizations to unite the divisions. So I was a part of the team where I would go seek and find, then I would go back to the elders, and then sometimes together, sometimes on their own, they would unite the divisions in a way, bringing light to those places and solutions. I felt in those times it wasn't so hostile, and civilizations were more welcoming of different beings. So I've been shown those three particularly lifetimes, so they will show me what I've already received in many insights and intuitive meditative states already, but I needed to put those scattered pieces of a puzzle a little bit more together. That was part of my intention, to put scattered intuitive pieces that I've already received over the years about me having a Pleiadian connections or experiencing lifetimes in that realm, as well as this deep connection to animals and nature, the deep healing abilities, the connection with my previous experience that happened to me a year or 2 years prior, where in one meditation, a Kundalini meditation, I've received a deep message from my spirit guides or higher self that I am a healer. So I had a very deep experience with that. So I needed all the answers. So for me it was very significant to be shown that I did have lifetimes, not one but more, but this one was most prominent in Pleiadians civilization and planet, and I had a role to unite divisions, to look for divisions so that we could actually help heal it. In Lemuria I was a healer. I was uniting divisions in all different ways. Then as a tribe to be born as a albino had been a very important shift for that particular community, for that particular tribe community. In those times it wasn't so obvious, it wasn't so common, where it was in that 16th century or 1600s. So these three particularly were shown to me. Then there was a slight overlap with another tribe, kind of albino, which I don't know if that was also part of me, because that wasn't so known, but it as if Mother Ayahuasca wanted to show me that it wasn't just one tribe, that I felt that I've been incarnated in many African tribes. That's where I understood my deep love and deep connection to Africa and African roots. Also, there was another lifetime that I felt like I was African American female lady living in some parts of Africa where there was this deep segregation, racism between white supremacy and black communities, the African American communities, and I was African American lady experiencing this. And I felt it was during the times of Martin Luther King, and I lived that. I felt very connected to that lifetime, so I was shown that I was struggling a lot with that. That's what explained my currently deep wound that I carry with this particular era, where African Americans and slaves experienced such a deep racism. It always killed me, and I didn't know why, because I lived that in that time. So that was also a very significant lifetime that I was shown. So how that perhaps is connected to unite divisions, again, there was this division between races, and I was meant to unite them by my courage. I didn't give up. I was speaking up for us, for the community of African American people who were very discriminated in those times in United States of America. That could have been somewhere around 50s that I assume I could have lived. So all that had been shown and cleared in that second day of my ceremony. And I remember it was in summer or spring, somewhere when it was already warm. And next day I felt really rejuvenated. Then, usually Mother Ayahuasca communicates with us even after there's a period of integration. And the next morning, when we were packing up to go home, me and my friend, I was speaking to two friends that I was staying in a room with during those nights. And it was a very magnificent moment there, which I also believe that Mother Ayahuasca orchestrated as a part of the integration. I spoke to those two girls about random things, and then I had seen some lady passing through the door, watching us very eagerly, and I was the only one facing the door where I could see her. The other two girls were facing the back to the door and facing me. And that woman was passing left and right, and then she eventually stepped into the room and she says, "I'm sorry to bother you girls. I just couldn't help but enter in because I felt guided to ask you, where are you from? The girls didn't really understand the question. They thought that she's asking where they actually from, what town, what city. But I did. It was as if Mother Ayahuasca sent her to me to confirm that. Because, those times I'd second guess it when I went out of that state, because part of me was still that little inner skeptic there as well. Even though I was already very intuitive and very awakened, there was still this inner doubt. So I think Mother Ayahuasca actually brought that lady towards me to confirm. And she asked, where are you from? The girl said, from such and such city, from such and such city. And she looked me straight in my eyes and she says, where are you from? And I said, Pleiades. And she was like, I knew it. She says, I'm from Lyra and Vega. And she was so sure of her origins or of her connections. And at that moment, I was sure of my connections to Pleiades. I felt home when I said the Pleiades. I felt home. She was like, I knew it. When I saw you for the first moment, I knew you are from or connected to Pleiades. Your features are Pleiadians. And I was like, really? She was like, yeah. And she says, oh, Pleiades used to have a lot of crooked teeth. And I wasn't even offended by that. I was actually fascinated by that. I was thinking, oh my God, is that so? So I felt really nice. It kind of did validated what I've received on that ceremony evening. So, and that lady was so elegant and graceful, just like another being out of this world, walking the earth, staying for this particular mission, for this particular era. And I felt very connected with her, and she felt very connected with me. And since then we would go for walks and stuff. It was beautiful. Then it came time to go home. So I went home and I integrated this for a long time. Integration not only brings the light, but it also brings the shadows on the surface that still are connected to negative beliefs, negative programmings that your parents, your society, your childhood, your environment instill in you. And the integration is very important to experience, to release all these negative beliefs. So the integration brought up a lot of shadow beliefs and memories that formed those negative beliefs. But it also connected many dots that I needed. And it was worth it. Since then, I've understood a lot about myself, and I could feel where I have been guided by my higher self. A time passed, and next year I went for another one. I remember it was winter time, and I really needed more of a connection. But because that period was actually very difficult in my life, I went through a lot of shadow moments. That next time was more for healing my body, healing my mind out of this negative beliefs and programming, to purify me. And to give me a proper closing of cycles. But it wasn't anything significant that happened that time. So I felt after that second visit, I felt more relieved from a lot of darkness that I carried and heaviness that I carried within me. Meaning depressions, fears that I carried, whether it was from my family and whether it was repeating cycles, energy. I felt she embraced me deeply into her healing arms and helped me reconnect with my abilities as a healer. So it balanced me back to myself, and whatever I went through at that moment didn't feel so heavy anymore. So I would say the first experience was much more significant because those lifetimes that I have been shown, those past lives or parallel lives, played a major role in my future steps that I took. It gave me confidence, it gave me clarity, it gave me a sense of home, belonging, that I seeked for such a long time. I never felt anchored in this earthly realm. I never felt really connected to human race. I felt very connected to animals and nature. I felt like an outsider of the society, more like in spiritual manner, in spiritual sense. Couldn't understand the system, couldn't really connect to that matrix system, and I didn't understand why. And there, I knew it. I was confirmed what my higher self already knew and was whispering to me since always. So, for those of you that resonated with this story, I hope it will help you understand your own path, perhaps inner knowings, to help you believe in your intuition more. And if you ever feel inspired and some of those paths may find you, please share your experience in the comments. I'll be interested. What I've learned through this experience is that sometimes it's not us who choose a certain path. Sometimes that path chooses us.